Team 25. The young god. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Gotti on the Gotti's World podcast. And this guest here is one of the biggest in the land. When I say biggest, this is the guy who gave me my home. This is the guy who gave me my business mindset. Back. Behind the scenes conversations got real. And when we talked, everything that he gave me, I ran with it, and I owe this brother. Like, I really owe this brother.
My cash app is $. Will from Enviyon.
I give you enough. I give you enough of them. I give you enough. I'm talking about none other than the owner, the creator, the God, Will from Enviyon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's going on, my brother?
Man, thanks for having me, Gotti.
What? Thanks for having you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll cut the shit. You know how this go. You cut the shit. You know how this go.
Hey, listen. This is an honor for me too,
bruh.
It's an honor for me. I haven't. Nobody's interviewed me
when you
on this show.
When you text me and say, "Hey, man, when can I get on?"
That's right, because I was feeling left out.
I jumped off the couch, ran to my wife and said, "Read this shit.
Hey,
read this shit. This Will." And she was like, "Yeah."
I was feeling left out. You know, I see what you're doing here. I'm really proud of you, and I'm glad you definitely took something. And you know, I don't know. You know, I'm thinking our conversations did help and do something. And that's just what I do. You know, I always want to see somebody prosper and see their vision come to life. And
yes, sir.
You know, I want to see it grow into $1 million billion corporation. Honestly,
yes,
like
sir.
That's what I want to see. You know, it's something about how when I see somebody have that fire and have that energy, like I almost want to pour some fuel on it just to see how high I can burn. You know, and you one of those one of those people that got that energy and got the fire and understand the sacrifice that it takes and the energy that it takes to make something come alive and something grow. So when I saw that, I said, I want to be part of that. And that's why I'm here today.
Bro, you did it. You did it. All them.
Thank you. Thank you.
You did it.
Now,
and even here, now,
yeah,
me interviewing you, shit is big.
Well,
so
let's get it going.
You know, because you've been here, you experienced a lot. You know how this go.
Yes,
you know I'm up and down.
Yeah.
You know I'm random as fuck.
Okay.
So we're going to get into you, bro.
Okay.
Where are you originally from?
I'm born and raised in Chicago.
What part?
South side and north side. My mom stayed on the north side. My dad stayed on the south side. So I was kind of a little bit split between the two.
Okay.
A lot of my younger years, I stayed with we grew up on the south side.
Yeah.
And then, you know, parents separated. You know, dad stayed south. Mom went north. You know, and then for a long, you know, some of those years, I stayed up north with my mom, and then somewhere towards closer to my teenage years, I ended up staying with my dad. So I went to a couple different high schools. I went to Amundsen High School. I did like a year there or so up north, and then I graduated from DeSable High School. I did most of my years there, right there on 51st and State. So I stayed in the projects, the buildings.
Okay. Since you was in the buildings,
I was in the buildings
as a kid running around. If I could ask some of the old homies, even your mom, your dad, what type of kid was you?
I was a smart kid. I was creative, but I was always curious, meaning that I would get into stuff. I would do things that sometimes would result in, you know, being arrested. But I wasn't terrible, but I ain't gonna go too far.
We ain't gonna get in that deep,
but I was just very curious about a lot of things on how things work, how the law worked, how to create stuff, how to build stuff. I would break things down and put things back together. I was one of them kids, man. So I was kind of, I don't know I don't know what the
Would you say adventurous too?
I was adventurous. Yep, I've done all that stuff, man. Like, you know, and a little bit of the adventure come from being in the military. You know, I was in the military. I don't know if you knew that, but I was in the Navy. I did 4 years in the Navy, stayed in California. I moved around a lot, so I seen a lot.
That's crazy because I was born on the Navy base.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Where at? San Diego?
Oceanside. Yep,
Okay.
San Diego, Oceanside, California. That's where I was born.
I was stationed in 32nd Street in San Diego in the Navy base. Yep. I did that at 17. I went in. I graduated a year earlier.
What type of understanding and what type of things that you learned while you was in the Navy, bro?
Independence. That's the biggest thing I took away, was learning how to be independent. You know, being 18 years old, you know, going in there boot camp or finishing high school at 17 and then finally turning 18 and they taking me in. I got recruited at 17. Just learning how to be on your own. This is you. You're your own person. Yeah, you're in the military. Yeah, they feeding you, they paying you. But a lot of the decisions that you make is where the independence come in at. And when you out to sea, you saving your money because you got nothing to spend it on because you're out to sea. You learn how to save. You're forced to learn how to save. Yes, and then when you get back in port, you know, I had me a little apartment, I had me a little car. All I had to do was make sure I reported to the base at a certain time of day. Other days, I was able to get off the base, and I lived my life. So I'm 18 years old with my own apartment, my own car, learning how to be independent. So they teach you independence. I think that was the biggest thing I took away. There are some ups and downs through it, you know, because I was young and didn't know, you know, what I was supposed to do. I didn't take advantage of a lot of opportunities, but that's because you're young. But that was the biggest thing I learned. I loved it.
So are you the only child or you?
Nope, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest.
How many?
I'm the oldest of. I have my younger sister, same mom and dad. Little brother, same mom and dad, and I have another little brother on my dad's side.
So you the one they look to?
Yep, one of my youngest brothers in the Navy right now. My brother, who's older than him, he's actually out in California right now. So he went into like theater and stuff. So also another performing arts major. And then my sister, she's educational specialist. What I mean by that is, you know, college degrees, doctor degrees, you know, PhD kind of stuff. So she went into the education realm.
She took off.
You know, teaching at different colleges around the city and around the area. So really smart. Young, I don't know how she went that direction, but I'm glad everybody picked something that they wanted to do and stuck with it. And if anything, I think that might have been the influence. Hey, when I saw something that I wanted, I went for it. And they made it pick that up and said, okay, I see. You got to just work for what you want.
So as they look up to you, and would you say that you were a loner?
You
were the oldest and was nobody to. You know what I mean?
There is a little bit of that too. You know, it's not a loner in the sense of you know you don't have anybody to talk to. It's a loner in the sense of when you start to focus on something.
Yes,
and you got to get something going. You do have to distance yourself away from a lot of things because those things can distract you from what you're actually supposed to do. So there is a small stage of that, and that's actually a continuing thing throughout your life, honestly, because the older you get and the more focused you get, the more people that won't either they won't be able to keep up with you, and they'll be slowing you down. You have to let them go, or they won't understand you, and you don't need a lot of friction when you trying to go for stuff. When you out to get something, you don't need the friction. You don't need people pulling you because it'll just take you longer to get there. So sometimes the loneliness part is just the fact that you can't have too many people in your life while you're really focused.
So when you were before Enviyon even existed, when you were in the bedroom, you were in your bedroom creating music, creating, you know, doing what you do.
Yep.
You had people there with you during the process of creating Enviyon. How many people did you lose? Or you had to distance yourself away?
No, I lost people in the process of creating.
Yeah.
People who had their ideas on how it should go, and I would say, well, I don't really think that's a good idea because I think I'm a fairly logical person, and they would say, oh, you ain't serious, and they wouldn't mess with me no more. Oh, you ain't really serious about this thing, you know, because people want, you know, anytime you come up with an idea around people, and you say, man, I want to do this. And you think it's a good idea to share your ideas with everybody. And sometimes it's really not. But you say, man, I'm going to do this. And they say, yeah, you're right. Well, let's do that. But then they might have an idea of how they, how they think it should go. And you be like, nah, I really didn't think it should go that far. It should start like this. Let's take baby steps. Let's really, grow this thing. And then they might be like, nah, man, you ain't serious. If we're going to do this, we got to do it. And it's like, yeah, but that ain't really the right way. Or they not willing to invest the same thing as you. Yeah. They'll tell you, man, you need to do this, do that if you want to get this going. But they're not willing to do nothing. But they'll tell you what you should be doing. What you need to do. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, well, are you going to help? No, I ain't going to help do nothing. Okay, well then it's up to me then at that point. So you lose people because their idea of what a business looks like and how a business should run or how you should carry yourself is different from your vision. So I lost people mainly I think because of that. Not because I felt like, I can't mess with you no more, bro. It was never like that. I still have people that, of course, that was there when I built it, that I still love, that I still talk to, that I still care about, and I'm always be there. You know what I mean? But then, like I said, there are those that feel like, they felt like, I don't like the way you trying to do this. I'm going to do my own thing, and you do your own thing. It's like, okay, cool,
Bro, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years. From where you came to now, 10 years.
I mean, it's a little longer than that, but on the books, on the books it's 10. I just keep it that way.
When you sit back and when you want to maybe the last person here, and you sit back and you look and you make sure everything is tidied up and you just look around and you look at all your accomplishments, do you still have the same tunnel vision, or are you relaxed and say, yeah, I did this?
No, it's like a never ending. No, it's you never. I haven't been comfortable. I have had. Yeah, no, I haven't. I've had those moments where I looked back and it's been a while since I've looked back, but there's stages. It's stages, and you get to those stages where you look at an accomplishment and you say, yes, I can't believe I did that. And then you get to those other stages where you say, thank you, God. And I've sat out in the parking lot and cried in my car and was just feeling so thankful for everything. Damn. You know what I mean? Like just looking at everything and just tears rolling down my eyes saying, thank you, God. You go through those stages, and right now I'm at a different stage. I'm at a stage of, what? There's more to gain, because it's not about me. It's about everybody else. It's about, it's about Hitter.
Yes. Shout out
Hitter. It's about my other, team members. It's about the other engineers. It's about, my producers. It's about my photographers that's rocking with me, my videographers that's rocking with me. So now, it's hard to just sit back and relax when I know that they have so much potential that they can, tap in. So I got to help them tap in now. I got to help them understand. And I mean, I ain't saying they don't know, but I want to be there to hopefully make a difference in their life, where they could take this and this be a great stepping stone for them to build their empire. So right now is a time where it's a little tough for me to just relax, because there's so many people involved that now I got to just make sure that they straight. And then I think maybe I'll be able to stand back when I know that they straight.
Bruh, even the way you see, that's what I'm talking about. That type of leadership, you don't even call them your employees. You said team members.
Yeah, they're not employees. I don't use the word employees.
That's dope, bro.
I never did. From the beginning, I always said I didn't want people, because that's a separation. Yes. When you say the word, you're in my employee, you separating them from you. I don't want them to feel separated from me. I feel like we should all, and don't get me wrong, you have to have a leader. But I feel like everybody should feel like they're that leadership. Because when I'm not here, you should feel like I'm supposed to take control. Yes. I'm supposed to run this place. You shouldn't feel like, hey, I don't get paid enough to do that. That's that job mentality. That's that I just clock in and clock out. I never wanted nobody under me that felt like that. You should feel like you're part of this. You should feel like this is home. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to be around people who feel like that. And these guys, they don't have that mentality. So that's why I take care of them, and I do everything I can to sacrifice, even for myself, to make sure that they straight.
Bro, I was so, when we left, I'm going to go into the behind the scenes talk that we have. Not a lot.
Okay.
But that story where you told me, bro, that sacrifice, your sacrifices of how you got even to the first crossroad, then you went to the second, and now you here. Could you please tell that same story, because that was the most motivational shit I ever heard.
Okay, like in the sense of what? Just like trying to start off and trying to do what you gotta do?
Just starting off, the working, the constant working you had to do to pay this person. Please tell. Bro,
I mean, I'm gonna tell you this first off. I never had anything figured out. I didn't know. I didn't have a master business plan laid out in front of me. I didn't know what my, what geographic area I was. They tell you all this stuff about how you supposed to come up with this big. I ain't know none of that shit. I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to start something. So I'll try to speed through it. Had a townhouse over here, not too far, Provincetown, right over here.
Okay.
Had a townhouse, had a space that I put my, a laptop, keyboard, basic setup in a garage because I wanted a little bit of space. And I wanted to have somewhere that I can bring people in.
Right.
And they ain't got to be all in my house.
Your house and shit.
Okay,
like
so
that.
so the garage was perfect. And it just grew. And you know what's so sweet about that time? It was just timing. Because the same people that's out here famous now was the same people I was recording in the garage. I was charging $20 an hour. I was just telling people, man, just come through with a 12-pack or a 6-pack. And the reason why, it didn't matter about the money, because I love to do it. First off, it has to be love. That got to be first. And then the money come. But if you just say, man, I want to do this because of money, it ain't going to work. I'm just telling you. You got to love it first.
Because you're going to quit.
Because you're going to quit
when it ain't working.
When it ain't working.
Yes.
When you don't see the money.
Yes,
because
sir.
you don't see the money at first. So the love got to be first. That's the only thing that's going to make it last. And then from there, I would record these people. And, they would come in and people would just be like, man, this is dope. It sounds good. Your mixing is wonderful. And again, I used to rap. So that's how I started. So I learned how to engineer because of myself. I learned it on me. I used to make beats, and then I wanted people to hear my beats. So I said, well, how people gonna hear my beats? Well, I'm gonna have to rap on these beats. So I would rap on my beats, burn it on a CD. It was a whole crazy process how I did it. And I would burn it on the CD, and then I would try to pass it out, mostly to my friends, and they would hype me up. Man, it's cold, it's cold. So that's how I learned how to engineer. And people would say, well, record me. And I'd be like, all right, I'll record you. Gotcha. That's how it all started. From there, I realized that the garage was not working anymore because it was late nights. Cars was parked around the back and around the street, and I was in an association, so people was getting tickets on their cars. I had to find a space. I went all over the city of Chicago looking for a space. Never had a business before. Nobody was really helping me. I didn't know what to do, but I didn't care. I worked at UPS at the time. I was a supervisor, full-time super UPS, so I was making some decent money. Okay. So I can afford it, but I still had to pay my mortgage and my bills and all my regular stuff. Yeah. And then eventually I found this place, and this guy said, okay, I'll give you this first space, which is Studio A. He said, I'll give you this space, but you're going to have to pay me this much a month, and you're young, and you're going to have to give me like $5,000 down. And it was like astronomical, right? Damn. But I wanted it. So I sacrificed. So, I got rid of the BMW. Got rid of all, I started getting rid of stuff. I said, I gotta choose. Life is like a bucket of water. You only can put so much water in it. In order to put fresh water in, you gotta pull old water out. So with that philosophy, I said, well, if I want this, that means I gotta give up something. And a lot of people don't see that part. You have to get rid of something to get something new in your life. So whatever you want, think about what you can get rid of, and then you'll start to see those things come to life. And I started getting rid of stuff, man. I started just getting rid of stuff. All my lifestyle was it wasn't like rich expensive, but I was driving foreign cars with no problem, paying $800, $900 car notes. Anyway, broke that all the way down, to the point where like I was able to pay for my first studio and pay rent, but I didn't have enough money to put the equipment. So for a whole year, I hustled and I worked that job, and every time I would get paid, I would pay that, and it had got to a point where I stopped paying my mortgage. Damn. It got to a point.
Damn.
Because I said, well, what's more important? You know what I mean? And I just made the decision to say, I think I'd rather be homeless than to not go for my dreams. It was like that. it was like that
was an ultimate sacrifice.
That was like that moment where you got to decide what you gonna do. You go either gonna do it or you not gonna do it. And I said, I'm gonna stop paying a mortgage. And then after a while, you know, I got put out and lived in an apartment for a minute, but I had my studio. Then eventually I was able to go over to Studio B. Then eventually go over to Studio C. And then by the time Studio B, Studio C hit, was able to go and get another house. So it's like you got to get rid of it to get it back better. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So just that, man. It's just what people got to, you know, which is what we talked about.
Yeah.
It's like you got to know what to cut. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's people. Sometimes it's material things. Sometimes it's a way of life. Those are the main three: people, material things, and way of life.
What about some of the old things within you that you had to change?
I would say like my spending habits had to really change. I had to learn how to not be an impulsive, compulsive spender. There's two sides of this, especially with running a business. There's two different type of people in the world. You got your consumers and you got your sellers. And you got to make a choice. Are you going to be a consumer or are you going to be a seller? And when you start getting that mindset and say, I'm not going to be a consumer anymore, I'm going to be a seller, you'll start saving money. You'll start understanding and seeing. Don't get me wrong, I understand that it's important to spend money because you have to spend money. But I feel like if I'm going to spend money, I'm going to spend it on something that I'm going to see later. That's me. So, yeah, you live your life. You want to go out to eat, you want to go to a restaurant. That's cool. But you have to be thinking and consciously thinking, I just literally threw away that $100. I don't know. Some people call that being cheap.
Hey, I'm a cheap nigga. Believe that.
Cheap.
I'm very cheap.
If you want to call me cheap, call me cheap. But I feel like if I'm going to spend money, I want to see something for it. Yes. I would rather spend $10,000 on a microphone than spend $50 on some food that I ain't even going to be happy about after I get through buying it.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That makes a hell of a lot of sense.
It's just like the things we spend on, we need to spend on things that we can see either we're gonna make some money off of it from spending it on, or it's gonna have some type of beneficial value down the road. We just gotta stop buying shit just because it's there and because we got the money. Money don't burn a hole in my pocket, and that was the thing. I had to learn how to not let money burn a hole in my pocket.
I took that advice. I took that advice and ran with it. And when I tell you, bro, the sacrifice has been worth it. I maxed out 2 of my credit cards to get people in here, to get my merch, to get things that stand out, pay photographers, pay for designs, because I seen something. I knew something was gonna, because I had a feeling.
That's right.
And then I had I won't even call it a talent, bro. This is my character. Being behind this and even finding my purpose. I did that, Will. And I'm seeing the fruits of my labor.
Yeah, it's hard for people. It's hard for people to see past it, man. Bro. So if you got the gift to be able to do it and execute it, then you on your way. And I saw that, and that's why I'm here now.
When your hard work, your consistency, and a lot of prayer. I know that's probably what it took, because that's what it took with me. Did you ever have, what was that time, or did you ever have them doubts?
You always have doubts.
Yeah.
They always come. But you have to just eliminate them quick. When they come, you have to find a way in your mind to just eliminate the doubt. Because the reason why it makes no sense to walk around hoping and wondering what will happen if this happened. Like, it's pointless. I feel like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But I'm not gonna sit here and not do something because I'm worried about something happening, if that makes sense. You know, people say, well, what if I can't find people to buy my product? I'm gonna go out and buy all of this product. What if I can't sell it? You automatically saying that you're not gonna sell it just by even thinking that way. Like, we gotta understand that our thought is the first thing that comes before any progress or any success. Your thought has to be first. You know, so before you say, well, what if I buy all this product and nobody sell it? What's gonna happen if you don't buy the product? nobody's gonna buy it anyway.
Buy it anyway. That's a
So
fact.
you got to make the choice to say, well, I got a 50%, I got a higher chance of being successful if I go out there and try it than a 0% chance if I don't, because I'm worried that I'm gonna waste my money. Who cares about money? Stop caring about money. Stop caring about wasting money. It's gonna come back around. That's just the way the world is made. Yeah. You know, there's people who could say, man, I'm less unfortunate, or I don't make that much money, or I work a job, I'm only getting paid $11 an hour. I guarantee you, I could make your $11 an hour stretch. I guarantee you I can. Like, it's ways to do this. I could make that work, but you're gonna have to sacrifice. People ain't willing to do that part. That's the part. I don't get paid enough to do that, to start my own business. I don't get paid enough to shit. I guarantee you I can make it work. But what I'm gonna tell you to do, you ain't gonna like it. And if you don't say, all right, cool. And that be the key. So if people worry too much about what's gonna happen, if they're gonna waste their money, forget that. Do it anyway. I don't care. I'd rather 2 years from now be like, I tried it and it didn't work. I tried a lot of things. A lot. This wasn't like my first whiff around. Nah, man. I think that's like the third time I tried to start an entertainment company.
What was some of the fails?
The first time I tried it, I just wasn't organized enough. Like, we tried it, I went through the IRS, tried to do it, we just didn't do nothing. Like, it just literally was just a thought.
Okay.
And I thought I wanted to do it. Man, this goes all the way back to what? When I first got out the Navy, I was like 20 years old, 21. I knew I wanted to do this, you know, and it just didn't work. It was called Trim Tight Entertainment. That was my first business.
Wow.
It was called Trim Tight Entertainment, but it flopped. It didn't go through. And then the second time, believe it or not, this is the second time Enviyon came back around. The first time I started Enviyon, after about 2 years in, the taxes and all that stuff kind of caught up with me. I didn't understand the business. I didn't understand how, like, IRS and taxes and like, you know, buying fucking business licenses and have to renew stuff and compliance, and I didn't understand that. And nobody was, you know, but I was paying for all this stuff, and then when it was coming around for that year and you got to rebuy it and redo it, now you got to do taxes and you got to pay for the annual reports for the state of Illinois, and I wasn't doing that. So the business failed.
Damn.
Because I wasn't doing the paperwork and nobody was there to say, hey, do this, do that. So I had to close this company down on paper and restart it back up again. And do it and change the name and do it the right way. So that was all a waste of money.
But it wasn't a loss. It was just a lesson.
It was a lesson.
Gotcha.
So if I would have looked at it like money, if I would have said, well, I ain't finna do it again because I done wasted all that money on it, this wouldn't be here. If I would have thought like that. But I said, okay, I learned now. I'm going to do it again. I'm finna spend that $1,200 for that business license. I'm finna redo this. I'm finna get the inspection from the Country Club Hills, and I got to pay them. And I got to it's all these things, but you can't worry about the money. You just got to do it.
What are three main things to maintaining a recording studio?
To maintain a recording studio?
Yes.
I think the first thing is to deliver on your promise. That's the main thing. So if what you saying is, I'm gonna give you quality, I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna give you that, I'm gonna give you that. That's number one. Make sure that you giving them that. Yes. Don't lie. Don't be a liar.
Yes.
Don't be a liar, because that's the worst thing you could do, because they're gonna be like, oh, I ain't going back there. They say they're gonna mix your shit, but they don't even really mix your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do my best to, like, eliminate any doubt of that, and I'll give you a free service if I lie. You know what I mean? So if you come in and I don't give you what I'm supposed to give you, okay, cool. I'm gonna give you a refund, or because it ain't about the money. Again, it's about you being happy. It's about you walking away saying, I got what I paid for, or I'm happy with what they did for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's number one. Don't be a liar. Two, make sure you have people in place that love what they do, that's compensated, you know, the right way. I believe that anybody who works or does something that they love to do, I think they should get paid for it. I wish somebody would pay me for something that I love to do, but I learned that. I learned that people don't do that, and if you wanna build people and keep people, you got to make sure that they're happy. Yeah. So I try to pick people that love what they do, and I try to make sure they're paid fairly, or if anything more than what the average other person doing their job would get. if that make any sense.
Yes, sir.
Because I want them to be part of the team. I don't want a bunch of turnover. I don't want a bunch of people running in and out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need people that want to be down, that want to be part of the cause.
Yeah.
You know, I even offer them franchise abilities. I even offer them the abilities to create their own division of this, and I can help them and make sure they're getting paid, whereas they business, like me and Hit have been talking about it, you know, those are the kind of opportunities. Like I want to see him as a young entrepreneur doing his own thing. That's what I want to see.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like this, he ain't gonna be doing this for the next 30-40 years. I don't expect that. I expect this to be a stepping stone for him and to go on and do bigger and better things. And hopefully is within the family. You know what I mean? And if I can take care of him, he'll stay here. So having good people in place, that's the second thing. And the third thing is having a facility, a safe environment, and a facility that's gonna give people what they want, and that's gonna take them away from the rest of the world. When you come here, I want you to feel like you're not part of the world no more. You know what I mean? It's like it should be a different life. It should be a different feel.
You lose yourself here.
And that's how it's supposed to be. So them the main things I think is important in running a studio.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Do you feel this is your purpose? Or do you feel like you got another stepping stone to where you're gonna really find it?
You know, I do think about that, but then I also go back sometimes and I think backwards and I say, well, I remember when I was just making beats, you know, and I thought that was my purpose. But the reason I was making beats is so that I could learn how to rap, which in turn taught me how to use Pro Tools. Does that make sense? So it was a reason why I learned how to make beats, and me learning how to work Pro Tools is so that I can have the knowledge and the drive to build a studio. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I need to build a studio is so I can get other people and change people's lives. You know, I try to stay down that road. Am I changing somebody's life? Am I making somebody's life better with what I'm doing? It ain't about me no more. It's about the lives that I'm trying to change in doing this. And then I say, okay, well, that was the reason why that. And then you get the studio and you say, well, what's the reason for having a studio? So when you start, you know, I was a photographer at one point, you know, doing that, doing proms, doing all kind of stuff. But then I was like, okay, that ain't really my thing. You know, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to pass that off to somebody else. And I was shooting videos for a while. Okay, you know, that ain't really my thing. So these are all things that I've tried to do. Right. But it was a reason for me doing them.
Reason for everything.
Because now when I get a photographer under me, I know if they good or not. Because I can tell them what they supposed to be. No, that's not the right lens. You need the 10 to 22.
You don't even supposed to be over here.
You need a 3.5 aperture on that. You can't tell me nothing no more because I learned it. I'll get a videographer tell me I'm charging this much. Okay, well, what kind of camera you using? What kind of blah, 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 blah. I can speak the specs. We could do the spec thing if you want to. So it was a reason for me learning that so that I make sure I'm in the right environment and I got the right people around. So when I look at what we have now, I say, man, is this just a stepping stone to something bigger? Who knows? All we could do is we could just keep making that thing the best you can. And in that next step, the universe going to give you your next step when you ready for it. You know, that's just how it works.
Speaking of life-changing, the studios is already amazing, but you are going on the next level with the online, with the online studio.
Yep.
Please give me the details about that because that's I've never heard of that.
We're just this has been a thought for a long time, but it just, believe it or not, the thought process behind this hasn't happened yet, or it hadn't happened yet because technology wasn't there for it. I always imagined it. I always knew it was gonna happen, but I just didn't have the technology. Technology wasn't there yet. We're getting to a 5K internet speed range where the technology is just now possible, which is why I was able to come up with the idea quick, because technology has caught up with my idea.
Right.
Does that make sense? So we just figured out a way where now you could be in your house and you'll be at the studio.
So explain the details though. Do they have to have this? They have to have this to
it's certain things you
program.
It's certain things you do have, but now in today's age, everybody got a mic at home or if you into music, you got a mic, you got a little interface, you got a little computer. That's all I need, and some headphones. If you got that, I got you.
And you still gonna be able to get the quality the
Yes.
the whole experience.
There's gonna be some coaching, you
Well,
know.
not the whole experience,
like if I, you'll also be able to see me. It's visual too. So it's not just hearing me. It's hearing me. We talking to each other back and forth, full whole conversation. You in England, I'm over in America. And we seeing each other. And we talking. So it's a little coaching too. Because now I'm looking at you and I'm saying, hey, bro, get a little closer to your mic. The same thing I would do in the booth. Like, it's emulated to be that way. Like, we didn't thought about every different angle. And that's actually still improving. One of the key things about it was we can do it from here. Yeah. But we're actually building a facility just for that.
Yes.
Just for that.
Is it, because I saw it on the ground, is it 2 more studios?
We're actually building 2 more studios. So we building one whole building for just virtual.
Wow.
Like, we might even get down to goggles. You know, it might go that direction. I don't know what the people gonna want.
Right.
So we got to try a few different things.
Right.
But it's definitely gonna be to the point where it won't be no engineer there. Like, you'll be there, and it's gonna keep that social distancing thing going. But it's also gonna be one of the coolest things you ever seen. Like, you know what I mean? It's just fun at the same time. And then the other studio gonna be a whole nother setup. I don't even want to talk about it. It's gonna be a whole nother thing. I try to, if you think about it, if you look at all our setups, we try to do something different. It's a different theme every time. So this is gonna be a whole new theme. I'll give y'all the virtual. That's the theme. It's gonna be a virtual theme. And then the other studio, which is F, that's a whole nother theme. Hitter, you better not say nothing.
Hitter, you know how we rock, okay? You know how we rock. Bro, everything that you hear that come from here, like the podcast, the rappers, the singers. How do you weed out the people who just doing shit for the gram and want to do it for the look, and really in here that's trying to or want to make something out of it?
You can tell. Big time you can tell.
What
the engineers can tell too.
As an engineer being in that scene and being in that room.
You can just tell by how much work they put into it before they come. You know, I mean, I feel like, don't get me wrong, some people come to the studio and freestyle. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like if you didn't write your shit, then you're not really serious. Right. I don't mean it that way.
Right.
But you can tell. It's a vibe thing, man. It's all about the respect that you have for the studio. It's about the respect that you have for yourself. It's about the respect that you have for the engineer. When you come in here with a mindset of, yup, that's my engineer. I understand how important he is, and I'm gonna treat him or her with respect. That's somebody that's serious and understand. But the people who come in and just kind of feel like, they could talk to their engineer any old kind of way, or he just somebody I'm paying, they don't really understand that what you got to realize too is there's people that have come to the studio and Hitter might be recording them. Y'all don't think that Hitter would pass that word along and be like, hey, you need to check this person out. Hey, you need to look at this person. Who? Check this person, blah, blah, blah. Listen to that shit. Hey, that shit is good. Man, somebody need to. Okay, cool. I'm going to send this information to this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really know how deep it go. You don't really know how many people, without you even knowing. Because a lot of times you can't say nothing to people because you don't want them to change. You want them to keep grinding and keep going. So a lot of times you can't tell an artist that such and such is looking at your page or such and such is watching you. And sometimes that just comes from Hitter saying, hey, Will, check him out. Hey, he's pretty good. You know what? Such and such is looking for an artist like that. Or this label is looking for an artist like that. We in bed with labels. I do shit for Warner, we're working with Atlantic. We do shit for Universal Music Group. Like, we work with these artists. So I know these A&Rs. I know these labels. I know people that can change people's lives. So I don't have no problem with taking somebody who's respectable, who working on their craft, who got a lot of music, who loves it, and they understand what's going on with it, and they listen. And I'll shoot them, hey, check him out. And now if they do something with them, they do something, or they don't do something, I don't know. But can
it
at
ain't
least
cost you shit to pass that on.
Nah, what it cost me. I'm supposed to help. I'm supposed to do that. I think that's my job. Is to help people to get that exposure. But it comes from the artist coming in, doing what they supposed to do, being very consistent, showing respect, listening. I ain't saying listen to doing it the way I want you to do it, but just taking, okay, cool. I appreciate what you just said. You know, having some respect. But you got some that just come in and they don't care, and you know, they want to do what they want to do, and it's just like, bro, I don't, you know. And it's just kind of like, it's hard to work with certain people, and some people who's hard to work with, and you make that engineer's life hard, he not gonna do you no favors. I don't see everybody that come in. I don't know everybody that come in. So I depend on them to feed that information to me. So artists, you know, if you listening, I'm telling you, you have to show your engineer some love and respect, because that's the first person who is noticing you, besides your friends, outside of anything else. And you never know how connected somebody like Hitta is.
That's a fact. How I see you ever the stress, the shakiness of the business.
Okay.
Did you ever want to quit? Did you ever want to quit because it got too stressful on you? Did it? Or it just became too much?
No.
No.
The closest I've gotten, okay. In 2011, I did quit, but that was, remember I told you about that first time around, where we tried to start the business and it didn't really work and all of that. I quit for a whole year. I was like, man, walked away from it for a year.
See, that's what I'm saying. And I want that. I want that side, because people will be like, damn, did he just keep going?
No.
Did he just keep going?
I quit for a year because I did get frustrated. And a lot of it was because of the people that was in my life. That was that stage where I wanted that support from the people who was around me and what I was doing, and wasn't getting that support. That was that stage. And I let that overwhelm me, and it made me feel some type of way where I said, well, forget this shit. This shit ain't working. Because it was literally making me have bad relationships with people, if that makes sense.
I get it.
Because of what I was doing, they weren't agreeing with it, or they just thought I was wasting my time, or, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that was that stage. And then when I came back to it, I actually was convinced to come back to it from an artist. And the artist said, man, you know, you was really good at that. You should record me, man. I ain't recorded in a long time. And I was like, man, I don't really do that no more. He was like, you still got the equipment, right? I was like, yeah, I got the little setup, but you know. He was like, record me. Come on, man. I was like, all right, bro, come on. And when I did it, it sparked it back up. Because I loved it again.
That flame. Yeah.
I loved it again.
Yeah.
And I said, man, I've been away from this for that long. I didn't realize how much and I had got better. I don't know how, but I had got better. I was mixing him, and I was like, man, I got better.
Could have been like,
it was weird.
The freshness that you have the eye of the tiger, the fresh.
I don't know what it was. I can't even tell you, but I got better. I had stopped and I started doing it, and maybe I just thought I got better. But the feeling I got was, bro, I'm better than I was. And maybe it's because I was actually good and just didn't even look at how good I was to myself. Yeah, like I never looked in the mirror until that day. And I was like, man, I'm pretty good at this. And then I kept going from there.
Personal. I'm going to go personal with you. What does Juice WRLD mean to you?
You know, his creativity was the key. Like how we connected. Like, I know that anybody who worked with him, they had to. Any engineers, you know, any other people that recorded him, I know that they had to understand and see the same thing that I saw. They had to, because it was so obvious. It was like he was able to read you, and if you was good and you love what you do, you was able to read him. It was like 1-2 punch. It was like a vibe. You know, it was like when he was doing something, I was doing something. It was like, you know, I don't know if, how can I explain that? Like, imagine rapping or singing in a band and you've never really practiced with the band. Yeah. And every time you hit a note, they hit the drum, and you be like, man, we vibing.
Damn. Yeah.
We vibing. Like, they on key with me. I ain't never told them what to do. That's how it was with him. He'll just say, man, I'm finna just go in here. I'll be like, all right, come on, let's go. We don't know what we finna do. And then, boom, Lucid Dreams will pop out. You know what I mean? Or you know, one of his freestyles will pop out. And it'll just be like, and as he doing it, I'm mixing it. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And he hearing what I'm doing, and it's hyping him up because he see what I'm doing. So I'm hyping him up based on what I'm doing, and he hyping me up because of what he's saying. Magic. So I'm like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. I'm finna do this, and I'm finna do that. So it was like one led the other, and that's how it was. So we had a really good relationship, especially in the studio. On a personal level, we just had talks, you know. Hey, man, make sure you stay focused. Make sure you do this, do that. You know, the main stuff that I say to everybody.
Who, when it get to be a load for you, who's the go-to? Who is your person that you sit back and say, I need to go talk to this person, or I need to go holler at them to get me together?
You know, I would say my senior people here, I can depend on them for sure because they've been here for a lot of years. You know, you got the Drodes, you got the Jays.
Shout out Tro.
You know,
shout out.
You know, you got Big Jake and them. Like
shout out Big Jake.
I know I can depend on them. I ain't saying I can't depend on Hitter or Billboard, none of them, but I probably would call them first because they know a little bit more. They've been around a little bit more. I don't want to throw nothing on somebody else and make them stressed about it. I'd rather give it to somebody who has had to do it before. Yeah. You know, you got to realize me and Dro was the first 2 engineers here. So we was 12-hour shifts every single day. Like he held me down. So he know. If I had to say I need you to work, me and you, we got to work 12-hour shifts every day for the rest of the month. He can do it. He ain't gonna crack. He ain't gonna say, man, I can't do it today. I ain't feeling well. I'm hungry. My girl tripping. It ain't gonna be none of that. He gonna be like, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, him, my people in the front office, Sierra, yes, Fee, like they so key.
Good people. Good people.
They really hold it down. I put a lot of energy into making sure that they know, because if you think about it, the engineers have a certain skill that nobody really can do, you know. But the people in the front, that's also a skill too, because they gotta manage all the artists and the engineers, if that makes sense. They gotta sync the artists with the engineers, and they gotta talk to the engineers and make sure that everybody. So it's a real coordination with them. So that's what I go to. I go to my senior engineers, and then I go to my people in the front. You know, Sierra, Felicia, Foreign, all them. Like I go, they the ones hold it down. Them the reason I ain't got to come in here.
What about life though?
As far as what?
When life get a little tough, when you get, you know what I'm saying, maybe have some relationship issues or something like that. Who do you go like, or do you take that to God?
You know what? I do that. I'll either call my dad, go over his house, have a talk with him. He usually can help me. Like I just feel fresh again. Yeah. Or I'll go to my grandmother's house. The doors are always open. You know what I mean? They just say, man, come on over. Man, I'm gonna make you something to eat. It's like you get out of the grown life and go back to being a kid again. Yes, you know, sir. So that's why I like to go to my elders. I like to go to my parents. Yes. Because it's almost like they take my burden off me when I'm in their presence, if that makes sense.
It don't feel like it's that bad. Nope. No more.
No, it don't. And that's what I'll do. Me personally. If I feel like, I'm going through some stuff, I go to them.
What were some of the morals that your grandparents and your father that they gave you that you still hold on to this day, and then you pass on to even your kids?
I think the biggest thing I took away, let's just say everybody had their own thing. My dad, very, very understanding, very understanding, very loving, but also teach you the game. Like he teach you the game. He taught me the street life, taught me you know what I mean? Like taught me the game. Like, look, this is how life goes. Whether you want to hear it or not, this is life.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So I give him that. My grandmother, just so much knowledge. She had 9 kids. All of them had a lot of kids, so she got the knowledge. Like she knows, what to say and what situations. Like she keeps it real too. My grandmother's real good with like talking about like relationship stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She can really dive into that and tell you what she sees and what she thinks. You know, she's really good at that. My mom was really hard. She was really strict, you know, because, you know, for a long time she was a single parent, you know, and she had to deal with us wanting to be around our dad, but then her and him wouldn't get along, so she had to deal with a lot of that stuff that I respect now, and at that time I probably didn't really respect it as much. But it's tough for a parent when they taking care of these kids and these kids steady saying, well, my dad, whatever, when they having their own little problems or whatever. And so she was really hard on us. Like, I grew up, you know, we all got whoopings. I got whoopings. So I got whoopings. I was doing crazy stuff, doing stuff every once in a while. I might talk back. She have to, you know what I'm saying, put that stomp down. I was on punishment a lot. So for me, she was the one who like showed me discipline. She showed me discipline. So when I see what these kids doing now, I'll be like, y'all don't even understand.
You crazy. I wouldn't have never pulled that.
Y'all don't even understand. It got to, listen, my mama, when I really acted up, all right, I need you to clean the floors with your toothbrush. She wouldn't make me use the toothbrush after. It was just the point of,
you got to do this and you better do it right.
It was the tedious stuff. It was clean the floors, get on your hands and knees. She would throw the mop away and say, mop the floors. Well, what a mop at, mama? Get on your hands and knees, get a bucket and a towel. So we'd be down there with a bucket and a towel on our hands and knees, wiping the floors.
Now that's some discipline.
Like that's some
fucking
But
discipline.
she learned it because her mama was real strict, you know. But you know what I mean. So I learned discipline from my mom. So like, it's great because I saw how tough it can be. Yeah. So I know that it ain't tough right now because she showed me what tough was. You know.
What is How do you balance? How do you balance 12 hours in here and doing sacrificing with your family life, with your love life?
I struggle with that. That's
even till now.
Yeah, that's my biggest struggle, believe it or not. Because remember, my philosophy of sacrifice is still in place and it still exists. But sometimes when you have a philosophy that works and that's really strong, it will interfere with your personal life. Because of the power of the philosophy, and it works, but you should try to keep it to the things that you can sacrifice.
Yes.
You got to try to like balance that thing. You got to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice smoking cigarettes. I'm going to sacrifice smoking weed and drinking every day. Maybe I'll only drink on the weekends, or I'm going to sacrifice going to the club every day. Like, those are the things you're supposed to sacrifice. Okay. But you shouldn't sacrifice time with your kids, time with you know what I mean? Like, so when you let that sacrifice part go over, that's when you start having problems. And I struggle even now with trying to bring that sacrifice back to the things that can be cut. So I have to look for other things that can be cut if I feel the need that, okay, some got to give. I'm running out of time. It's only 24 hours in a day. All right, what do I cut now? I shouldn't be cutting time with my daughter. I shouldn't be cutting, you know, or the family having an event, but I ain't got time to do the event. I shouldn't cut that stuff. I should find something else to cut. So I'll tend to say, okay, well, I'm cutting sleep today, you know, or I just won't sleep today. You know what I mean? Or, you know what, I'm just not going to do this today. But those might be important things too, but you got to choose what you're going to do. You're going to do. So I still struggle with that, believe it or not. I got to figure out what I'm going to give up and what I'm going to keep in order to accomplish something specific. I also learned not to set my goals so high. I've learned to back them down a little, because I get real bad where I'll say, man, by next week I need to have all this stuff done. And then over time, I start to say, you know what? I'm just going to put 2 things on my plate.
Okay. So you start going for, instead of the long, hard road, you start going for the short.
You get the short steps. Get the short steps.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And that way you don't get stressed. That way you don't feel the need to sacrifice all your friends and your family. You don't feel the need to. So like I said, I still balance it. I still know I got a long list of stuff to do. Like long. Yeah. Like right now.
Well, you even called me, you said you was on my to-do list to get this out the way.
But I gotta know what to do. I gotta say, wow, well, today I'm gonna do these 3 things. And sometimes I'll be like, I'm gonna do all 5 today. I have to train myself and say, nah, Will, just do these 2. But then sometimes I'll go home and say, I ain't get shit done today. I only got 2 things done today. Like, it's terrible. I'm really bad. I gotta like calm down sometimes.
So you know what? That makes me feel even better because I know I'm not the only one. That's crazy. That sit around and be like, nigga, you ain't did shit today. I'm terrible. Shit today. Like you horrible. You know you could have got up and did that.
That's right.
But you like, no, this little one sitting here, she's sitting in your arms. You'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. And that's the difference between being an entrepreneur and having a job. Ain't nobody there to tell you that. With a job, we'll get up and go. Yeah. But when it's you, we don't have nobody there. But since it's not mandated on how many hours you can work, somebody like me will work forever. Because I don't have nobody to say, punch out. Clock out, motherfucker. It's over. The day over with. I don't have nobody to say punch out. So I don't be knowing when to clock out. I just keep working, if that make any sense.
Now, I don't know if anybody knows this, but we're going to jump in and we're going to jump out, Will.
Okay.
Will, what is the relationship status looking like, bro?
I just keep everything as simple as possible, and I think honestly, like for me, it's almost like work is first.
Ooh,
I know it's terrible, but I'm being honest.
Ooh, but is it any special? Like, is it any? Is it?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
Of course.
Good.
Of course, but like I said, it's only like that because I didn't want to. I've been there to the point where I felt like I was giving up what I wanted for what somebody else wanted, and that's the only reason it's like that. So I just learned to balance that. Or I'm still, like I said, I'm still balancing it. I'm still learning that line. Because, with any relationship, they're going to want you. They're going to want your time. They're going to want, and sometimes the full commitment. And you fully committing yourself to something else, so how you fully committing yourself to them too? That's the problem. Like so it's almost like, once again, what am I going to do? So I've just learned to just focus on what I'm doing. And then if I can, involve them in.
Yeah.
If I can do that. If I can. Because it don't always work like that. Sometimes that's really short-lived.
Yeah.
They might do it just to be involved or be part of it, but really sometimes it be just short-lived.
Or either to be around you at the time, just for some time.
You know what I mean?
Because they know where you're going to be at.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I think once, because you also got to keep in mind that everybody have their own visions and ambition.
Yes.
So I'm really for that. Like, I really feel like, anybody that I'm around or in a relationship with or whatever, they should have their own ambitions and goals. Because if I'm off doing something, I don't want you like, what you doing? Why you still there? What you doing? You should be working on some shit too. That's how I feel.
What are you doing?
Like, we should miss each other. I should be like, I ain't seeing you in 2 days. What's up?
I'm gonna pull up.
I'm gonna pull up. It should be that factor. So that just with that, that's why I say, your my goals and things sometimes come first, because that's the only way I've learned that I know how to do it. And I know I'm still working on myself. I ain't I ain't got all the answers.
Bruh, if you know all the answers, then you never can grow.
That's right.
If you feel like you even being the smartest person in the room, you in the wrong room.
That's right.
That's a fact.
So yeah, it's just that line. Like, I think that just separates certain people from certain people. That's it. What I don't want is one of them fake relationships. I don't want, because there's a lot of really successful people in fake relationships, meaning they only in a relationship. He only with her because he needs somebody to be with, and she only with him because he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in one of them. I'd rather not.
That ain't gonna.
And
that ain't gonna last.
That is very, very common. The more successful you get, that's a common thing. To just, I'm with her. Yeah, that's my chick. Yeah, but really, she just there because, and you know it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it ain't a secret. It's just y'all just do it because the media.
We just doing it just to do it.
You're just doing it to do it, and I don't want that. So like I said, I don't want to. I don't want it to be like that. But I got to stay focused because it ain't over with. And then I think I'll relax some. I don't know. One of these years, maybe in 2021, I'll try to take like some vacations.
You're gonna have to, bro.
I'm gonna try to.
You're gonna have to.
I really am.
Put your feet in the sand somewhere.
Oh man,
get them out them goddamn shoes, man.
If it's internet, I'm gonna be. What y'all doing? It better not be no internet.
Oh shit. Okay, real personal.
Okay.
Through my eyes, just to me, I don't know if everybody else see this vision, but I really see it. And I have to ask you this question: Are you really trying to take over the South suburbs?
No.
With Enviyon?
No, okay, well,
because the city is the city. The other wherever other studios is at, but bro, Enviyon is a household name, and people are still figuring it out. But when they get here, it's like this is it. And even with building the online and doing that, I feel like you, in your head, bro, and how strategic you are, and just from the conversation that we do have, I feel like you're trying to take over, Jim.
I'll tell you this. My vision is way bigger than the South suburbs. I'll tell you that. It's definitely a worldwide vision. Okay? It's bigger than that. I'm actually practicing in the South suburbs. I'm practicing how it feels and what it takes to dominate something. So I'm practicing here. So I'll be ready for London and all them other countries. So this is just practice grounds.
You on some mad scientist type shit. Hit it. Don't it sound like that? We talk about practice? We talk about practice? Was that a flex? Hit it. Was that a flex? That was a flex? Yeah, I felt that way too. When it came off, I felt that way.
No, but seriously. No, like Studio A, right?
Yeah.
Then I thought about it. I said, well, why build another one right next door? Build another one in a whole different city. That makes sense. Or another part of the city. But then I said, nah, it's too hard. I was afraid to have to travel. You know what I mean? So I said, well, just take this one because it's right here. So I did that one. And it worked. Then I said, well, take the next one. It worked. Take the next one. It worked. And then, okay, now it's time to go to, LA or go wherever, right? But then, it's like, well, wait a minute. It's, I don't want to be overbooked. I don't want, honestly, I hate being, I ain't gonna say hate because it ain't a bad thing to be booked. But knowing how creative artists are and knowing that when they need to get in somewhere, they need to get in somewhere.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Imagine needing to buy groceries and going to the grocery store and they say, we all booked. You can come back next week and get groceries. Right? You'll be like,
that ain't what you mean?
I got to go to another grocery store then.
Got to.
If y'all can't buy nothing, I don't want that. So that's why we keep building in the same town to prevent that overflow. I don't want you to have to drive to the city and get something that you ain't really going to be happy with. Only because you're used to what we do here.
Yes. Sometimes
you'll go to another studio, and I ain't knocking studios. Everybody got their own way of doing stuff. But if you're used to this way of doing it, just like you might be used to a certain restaurant, and you go to another one trying to get that same feeling, you not.
It ain't gonna happen.
You gonna be mad you spent your money.
That shit is not going.
And then you gonna come back when you can get in, and you gonna be like, "Yeah, man, I went all the way down there, and it wasn't worth it." And I feel responsible for that. Believe it or not, I feel bad about the fact that I didn't have a place for you to go. So that is the reason why we keep doing it, because I don't want people to have to go other places. Believe it or not, and that's why I know that there's people in other cities, other towns who need this. So that's where the expansion idea is. And if we learn how to do it here and we get a good team, I mean, just imagine if I could get 25 to 30 engineers all trained a certain way in one environment, and then we spread everybody out throughout the country. You able to put the same product everywhere without it being inconsistent.
Yep.
Because that's the issue. The inconsistencies of a lot of these companies and businesses.
This nigga's a mastermind. This nigga's
no,
a mastermind,
for real though,
bro.
But it just makes sense. So that's the goal. Like, this is like the kettle.
Yeah.
Just like the kettle. You know, we get everybody ready, and then at a certain point, you're gonna start seeing an Enviyon pop up here.
Go here.
Enviyon gonna pop up there. Enviyon gonna pop up there. You know, I know it's gonna take a lot. I don't know how we're gonna do it. I ain't got that part. I just know it's gonna happen.
Know it's gonna happen.
That's it. That's it. So a lot of the expansion is not to take over the south suburbs. It's to prepare. It's to prepare.
It's to take over.
So when I say practice, that's what I meant to say. Prepare.
Whatever. I know what this is. I know what this is. I will. Okay. But you already know what's coming next. This 10-name game.
10-name game. Okay.
The 10-name game. You know how this go.
What's this? I don't know what this is.
Okay, well, if you don't know, since I know you know, but it is what it is, I'm going to fire off 10 things.
All right.
Or 10 names.
Okay.
And you have to, on the spot, give me your first answer. The thing that pop in your head.
All right, let's try it.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Love.
Passion.
Fear.
Never.
Enviyon.
Life.
Gotti.
Brother.
Yes. You better say that shit. You better say that shit. Juice WRLD.
Brother.
Your daughter.
Life again.
Life. The Rugrats.
Cartoon. I don't watch TV.
TD Jakes.
Inspiration.
Chicago.
Temporary home.
That's not a one-word answer.
Oh, it's home then.
Ho.
It's
Okay.
home. It's home.
Ho.
It's home.
Okay. Okay. Will.
Creator.
Creator. Clap it up. 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 Hitter. I noticed it. Will. Hitter.
What?
I know he here. But what we give him?
I'm not obligated. I'll give him an A-.
Give him A-.
A-.
A-. We take that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
That.
Okay. Cool.
I'm
okay.
good.
Cool.
I ain't hesitated. Well, I did 2 words. So you're right. I get the A-.
Okay.
I get the A-.
Now, are you striving for greatness or success?
Greatness.
Greatness.
Yeah, greatness.
Why?
I just think that's the only way. Like success is whatever you want it to be. Some people think some people think having a 9 to 5, making $200,000 a year or $100,000 a year is success. And I ain't saying it's not, but it might not be greatness. Greatness is its own category. It's its own thing. You know, there's no shortness of what greatness is. There's no what you think greatness is. Well, it's either great or it's not. I think everybody would agree on greatness, but everybody won't agree on success. Some people think success is being a billionaire. I don't necessarily think that. I think success can be what we're looking at right now. But
longevity.
But is it greatness yet? I don't know. Maybe, but to some people, I don't know. I don't think so. I think greatness is what you. I feel like when the world know, then it's greatness.
When somebody else is
That's
talking
right.
instead of you talking.
Correct.
That's when it's greatness.
That's when it's greatness.
I completely agree.
When you don't have to say nothing no more.
It's just that
when you don't have to say, when they say, "What you wearing?" I don't have to say, "Well, this is my brand."
You know what that is.
That was my goal when I first start wearing this
Same.
hoodie, this sweater. Same, right?
Same. Same.
I knew I was gonna be the only one wearing it. I didn't care, and I changed my whole. This is my wardrobe. This is what I wear. And at first it was, what's that? Oh, this is my company. Oh, okay, that's nice. But now he walks down the street and people be like, Enviyon on the mix. That's my goal. That's the goal. The goal is for people to know your brand by seeing it.
Yes, sir.
And associating something automatically with your logo.
That's what
when they see that YG, they need to know, oh, what up, man? When can I get on the podcast? You ain't even got to know them.
Yep.
You shouldn't know them. You know what I mean? It should just be random. That's the whole thing for me. Sir. So now I, sometimes I don't even wear it no more.
What? Okay. Last question, because I know, like, I really want to hear this. Who are you?
Who am I?
Because we do know who we strive to be, who we want to be. We see people, we see the Jays, Beyonce's, and stuff like that. But damn, I want that. Oh, I want to be that. Who are you, though? The man.
I don't know yet. As far because it's not a box. I'm not in a box, so it's hard to just put a title on it. If that makes sense. It's like I know who I am, but I don't know what to call it. I mean, of course, it's innovator, and I know what I do. I do innovations. I create stuff. I create opportunities. I do all them things. But what's my title? I don't know. And I'll say this too. I don't put a lot of energy onto titles.
Yeah.
I don't put a lot of energy into like, well, he's the owner, Like, I don't even tell people that, believe it or not. I just be like, they be like, oh, you have, like, yeah, I'm an engineer. I mean, because I am an engineer. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But I don't like,
get into the,
I'm the owner.
Yeah.
I don't put that energy. You know what I'm saying? He'll tell you, I don't act like that. I don't act like I'm the boss. So I don't have like this title over me that makes me feel a certain type of way, because sometimes that'll guide you to being a person you shouldn't even be. Or to make other people feel a certain way about you and won't communicate with you because you got this thing on you. Yeah. So I don't walk around like that. So, I mean, I know I'm the owner, and I know I've probably made a lot of difference in maybe in the world or in Chicago. I know that, but I don't walk around with it. It's bigger than that. I don't walk with that. I just say, okay, yeah, I did that. Great. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep it going. So it's hard for me to say who I am.
Well, that was one of the most honest answers I really ever heard. Like, I don't even put no title. I can't put no title on it. I know what I am. I know who I am, but I can't put no. That is.
I can't.
That's actually fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's real.
Is that another flex?
Nah.
That's him. Yeah.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, I feel that. My brother, I appreciate you for wanting to be on the show, for seeing my vision, giving me game. I ain't gonna say a lot. You kind of took me in.
Hey,
you took me in, bro.
Hey, listen.
And you gave me a home, and gave me the love, and the engineers. They turned into family. From the front desk to the engineers, from. You.
That's how it's supposed to be.
And I felt all that.
That's the vibe. That's the energy. That's the energy that I put myself in. I put myself around. So whoever around here, they're gonna get it too. That's how it's supposed to be.
And I just want to let you know one last thing. I'm never leaving this bitch. So I'm letting you know that now. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that.
All right.
I wanted to be sincere, but I want to fuck it. I'm not doing that. I'm never leaving this bitch.
Hey,
this is the home.
Listen.
No matter what happens, I'm going to try to figure out how to work it here. I'm letting you know that.
You know I definitely appreciate it, and I'm here. Like, whatever you need, I'm here. Yes, of course, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you can't do nothing else but this, and you gotta be. Of course, I don't even think like that.
Yes, sir.
But I appreciate it, and you always got a home as long as you're here.
This is here. This is here.
You with me.
Tell everybody some of the things that you got coming. Give them all your socials. everything else?
Well, right now, the most current thing that I'm working on is trying to get this toy drive together, which is actually on December 18th. We're gonna start it at 3 p.m. Just trying to get more families to sign up for it. Who's gonna say yes, I want to participate? Just sign up for it. Tell us how many kids you got. We'll put it down on the list so we can make sure we got enough toys for it. That's gonna be on December 18th, 3 to 5. I don't know if because I know you view your podcast a little bit, but it's okay. That's one thing that's coming up. After that, I know the holidays are here. Really, the focus is gonna be to finish this build out, man. Finishing this build out. I'm actually going to be hiring over the next couple weeks from now. So we're going to be bringing on a couple more new engineers, getting them going.
I know some people that need some jobs.
Okay. If they good and you already know what's expected, tell them to go fill out an application on enviyon.com.
Gotcha.
And then tell them to put Gotti referred me. There's a referral section in there.
Gotcha. I won't bring no bullshit here.
Absolutely. That, and like I said, the build out is the main thing I'm going to be focusing on at the end of this year up until through 2021. I'm not going to focus on nothing but getting those studios built. Once those are built up, then we'll go to the next stage. It's always a stage. And right now, that's the stage we at. So we're going to do this toy drive. We're going to get some more people up in here. We're gonna keep improving the podcast, keep working on some things. I've been thinking about some things to make this better for you too. So we'll talk about those things later. But it's always new stuff happening. You just can't sit still and get comfortable. It's always got to get better.
Big fact.
That's it. But yeah, definitely if you do see this in time, join us on this toy. Join us on this toy drive so we can get some toys out to these kids, get some families to sign up so we can do it. We're going to have Power 92 out there. This was just on NBC yesterday. This was on Telemundo yesterday. So, I got an excellent PR team who can get to the newspapers and the news channels like fast. Excellent. So I'm really happy and blessed to have them on the team and on board. So that's really the biggest focus right now.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Y'all know where to find me on IG, official_YUNG Gotti. Also on Facebook, Irvin Woods Jr. Go ahead and add. Do what you got to do. Share all my shit. Share all the clips. Share everything. Add me. Follow me. Do what you got to do. Also, the Young Guy merch. It is here. It is here. It is here.
I'm digging.
I got it on that. Yep. Y'all see it? Y'all see the Gotti? Go overtime to invent. That is a big.
Go overtime to invent. I'm wearing that.
That's Gotti.
I'm wearing that.
That's the
message. I need
message.
one of those.
That's the message. No matter where.
How much you want? What you selling the shirts for, man?
I'm selling the shirts for $40.
$40?
$40, but you get it for 30.
No.
You get it for 30.
No, I'm paying the 40 because we gotta stop giving each other deals. We gotta stop. I'm telling you.
Ooh.
We have to, as a people, we got to stop doing it. We need to pay the price and we need to support each other. Because we don't argue when we walk in Walmart. When we get to the register and that bitch say $260, you pay it. You don't be like, let me get a deal.
All change. We
gotta stop. We gotta stop giving each other's deals. I promise you, if we stop doing that, if we stop giving each other deals, then our everything will start to shift. It will literally make a shift in commerce. You say support your brothers, support black business. You say all that. It don't matter. Support whatever.
Support them to the fullest. Then
support them
to the fullest. Yes, sir.
So that they can grow and become better and create more opportunity. If you support me, I'm gonna create opportunities. I ain't taking it and putting it in a boat. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting it right back in and giving it back. So we got to stop giving each other deals. I'm paying this man his $40.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, my brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. Enviyon Studios. Thank you, God, for this home. Thank you, God, for this brother Will. Thank you, God, for my brother Hitter over there, the engineer. Thank you, God, just for the whole team. I love this place, man. I love this place. Thank you, man. This is another one. Got my boy Will. Enviyon on the mix.
Amen.
I'm Gotti. You're
Newness, here's the anthem. Put your hand up that you shoot with. Count your loot with. Push the pool stick in your new crib. Same hand that you